So the next question they will ask you now is, what are the various changes that you can observe in that business? How does a business change? What are the various ways in which a business will change over time?
They can expand.
And we did look at that question in the conclusion of section 1. Explaining if the aims and objectives have changed over time. You remember me talking about that? No. Right? So in the conclusion of part 3, conclude your report by explaining if the aims and objectives have changed over time. And there are a variety of ways which we will be looking at of whether these aims and objectives can change over time. Number 1, a business may change in terms of market entry and exit. What does that mean? When you have market entry, you can get about reasons for entering new markets. So maybe I was only selling bags, right? But now I decide, you know what? I want to sell shoes as well. I have literally just entered a new market because I was only selling bags. I had a store only selling bags, but now I want to sell shoes, right, Kimaria? So I am entering the shoe market. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, reasons for entering new market. Market research and analysis. The reason why I want to enter the shoe market is because I have done the research and I have realized that people love shoes and they would spend all their money on shoes. Right? So because of that, I'm deciding now to sell shoes. That's why any business enters any market, any. They've done their research and they've realized that there is good money to be made in such and such market. Exit strategies. Now on the flip side, maybe I realize the bags are not being sold as much. So what would I want to do? Get out of that. Stop selling bags. That would be a reason to leave or exit a market. In your exam, you would say that some of the changes or one of the changes that this business has done is that before they used to sell such and such a product, and now they have ended production of that such and such product. Or before they only sold such and such product, and now they sell this product as well as this other product. And give a reason why. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So a change is that the business sold bags, and a year later, now they sell bags and shoes. Okay? Risk assessment. Businesses may change markets based on risk. Again, if that business is at risk of failing, what would they do? Enter or leave? Leave. If that business is at risk of making a huge profit, what would they do? Enter. Okay? Resource allocation. What does that have to do with? Where are you going to get the shoes that you want to sell from? Who is going to be your supplier? Okay? So resource allocation. The next one, growth and product development. That's the last one we'll do today. That's right, listen to this. From Fun for Hours. The paragraph wrote, it started out with the vision of Misha, who had previously owned a small toy store. Over the years, this store expanded, and with the help of the family, we opened further stores. The chain then went public 10 years ago, and now is a public limited company where it is owned by shareholders. The family still owns 40% of shares in the company. Is that a change or not?
Yeah.
How did it change? It's not there. How did that change?
It started being held by one person, everybody should have known.
Use the terminology, man. You are an educated young man.
Now I'm on my own now.
From what? From sole trader to a public limited company. And what can be a possible reason based on the objectives? Listen to the objectives of the business. The business objectives were to increase sales by 10%, increase customer satisfaction by 8%, increase online sales by 10%, increase employee satisfaction by 10%. Which objective do you think they wanted to achieve for that change? Increase? How is public limited company becoming a public limited company going to increase sales? From a sole trader to a public limited company. They said at first it was owned by she owned a small toy store. Over the years, the store expanded with the help of family, opened further stores. The chain then went public 10 years ago and is now a public limited company where it is owned by shareholders. How did that change help the goal of increasing the sale by 10%?
Because it helps them build out more business and more buildings or businesses.
Locations.
And that allowed for more products to be sold.
Right, you now can get customers from all different locations now, and that will increase your sales by 10% or help increase. So when they ask you to look at the interaction, when they ask you to look at what activities did that business go about, what changes that will help in the achievement of these objectives, that's the kind of analysis you have to be doing, guys. Okay? Growth and product development. There are a number of ways a business can grow, and these are some of them. Number one, organic growth. Organic meaning the business has grown by its decision to grow. So just like Misha was the first toy store, and now she decided to go in a public limited company, that's organic growth. They decided to do that. Acquisition, however, is when you acquire something, what does that mean? You have obtained. Now, in the business sense, acquisition means one big business coming over a little business and taking over them. That's what acquisition means. Okay? Or you can think of hostile takeover. You all know that word? Hostile takeover. That simply means, as let's just say a public limited company, if today you go to bed, you own your company. Tomorrow you wake up and you found out that some billionaire in Dubai somewhere bought 51% of your shares. Guess what? It's no longer your company. That is a hostile takeover. You never planned for it, but it happened. So that is how the business grew, but it wasn't by choice. Some bigger company bought your company, and now your company belongs to them. That is acquisition. Another way a business can grow is product line expansion, meaning I only sold lipstick, but now I sell lip gloss, I sell creams, I sell face cleansers, I sell creams, I sell the whole lot, right? So I've expanded from only selling lipstick to now beauty products. Okay?
Yeah.
Market penetration, and that is the same thing as going into or entering new markets. Okay? As well as pricing. So market penetration, I want to increase my market share. And the one way you can do that, the one way you can attract more customers is reducing your prices. Okay? As soon as people see prices fall, they come flooding in your doors. That's market penetration. Diversification strategies that have to do with, say, I don't want to say product line expansion, but similar. So some people have a business that started off as one thing, but now they offer this service and that service and this service and that service. So now they have diversified their business. Okay? Maybe you open a little Airbnb, but now you bought a vehicle. So now when somebody comes to stay at my Airbnb, they can also rent the vehicle. Right? Then I have a private chef. Maybe somebody else will come in and now hire, come to my Airbnb, rent my vehicle as well as hire my private chef. That's diversification. Okay? And lastly, innovation and development. Innovation, whenever you hear that word, it simply means how can we make this thing better? And every time you make it better, more customers will come and more money will be made. Right? I know it's a lot, guys. I know it's a lot. But I'm not saying you have to know all of this. But if you just mention one of these things to answer the question, it will take you very far. And obviously, you always need the proof to show that you did the research. Okay? So when you see a question in your conclusion asking you for what, let me read the exact question. Conclude your report by 1, explaining the aims and objectives. If the aims and objectives have changed over time, that is how you tackle it. You read through the article and you figure out whether the aims and objectives have changed over time. That can simply mean a product line expansion. Okay? And that will lead to an increase in sales. Understood? I know you better understand with practice, so you all know what's coming. Alright, that's it for today.